Welcome to PACWEST Best in Class, highlighting student athletes that are leaving their mark on athletics and academics across the conference.
Megan Duffy from VIU, the women's volleyball program, joins us for this Best in Class. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Good. So going into your fourth year of eligibility on the volleyball court, because of COVID, the whole fifth year, the eligibility gets all messed around. But tell us what you're taking at VIU and why.
So I just graduated from the interior design program at VIU. So I'm an interior designer. Yay. But now, since I'm kind of going into my fifth year of school, I'm just taking exploratory studies. So a little bit of what I want, and I'll still be working full time, just remote. So just kind of a little bit of everything, I guess.
That's exciting. So when did you first become interested in interior design? Where did that whole inspiration come from?
Um, I always loved watching like HGTV, like the House Network, and I would just like fell in love with decorating and remodeling and doing those things. And I would just sit in front of the TV like all day long and watch it. And so I kind of always knew like that was the direction I wanted to go. And luckily, when I came to school and took the classes, I loved it still. So got very lucky.
I find it interesting that you're a student athlete from the Toronto area, Oakville, and you're way out west in IMO and VIU. So take me through that bridge, how you got from or decided to leave Oakville and get yourself
Mhm.
to VIU.
Yeah, so I wanted a school that had a great interior design program as well as a great volleyball program, and that really narrowed down my pool of options in Canada because not many people have like a 4 year interior design program. Usually it's like two.
Yeah.
And so the schools were VIU, Mount Royal, and Toronto Metropolitan. And at Mount Royal, you can't take interior design and play sport at the same time because it's such an
Wow.
intense program. So that was kind of out of the question. And then I didn't really want to stay close to home in Toronto. So I called up Shane and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" He said, "Come on over." So I kind of ended up at VIU and I'm very glad I did. I love it here. So
How do you juggle student stuff, projects, exams, usual assignments, plus being involved in the women's volleyball team where there's so much travel, there's so much commitment with lifting and practice and then matches. So how do you juggle everything?
time management. I'm
Yeah.
sure that's a very common answer, but it really is so important. I describe my program as more time consuming than it is kind of like mentally hard. Like it's kind of like problem solving. So it's not too much of like I'm writing essays or I'm doing these things, but I still do like hard projects and lots of things like that. So time management, you'll always see me doing homework all the time. I used to go to the library a lot, not so much anymore. I got kind of senioritis with doing my homework. So, but it's just time management for sure. Just knowing when things are due and when you have to do them by. So,
Has it gotten easier from the first time you stepped at VIU to now going in your fourth year? Has it gotten a little easier juggling everything?
oh yeah, definitely. When I was in my first year, I was a rookie. It was COVID though, so I
Mhm.
didn't play any games. And so it was kind of a good stepping stone into varsity because we were still practicing every day, but we didn't have games on the weekend. So I kind of got to like slowly figure out like what works best for me. And it definitely has gotten easier. I'd say my third year was probably the hardest,
Okay.
as well as a lot of people would say their third year is the hard. And then fourth year, I only had like three classes. So I was just kind of cruising, but it worked out. Yeah.
What's one or two things that you wish you would have known as a rookie coming into VIU? Now, you said you had the COVID year, so you didn't have a lot of matches, but you still had
Mhm.
practices. Was there one thing that you wish you would have known academically going into VIU that you know now or that you learned along the way?
Um, I don't know. I guess like I just wish I would have known, yeah, just how much time
Mhm.
things like take, like just how long I would be doing homework every day or stuff like that. Like I just kind of assume like high school, like, oh yeah, I can like bang it out in a night or something like that. Absolutely not. Your assignments are like you'll be issued like four assignments on the first week of school and they're due in like a month. So you have them only a month to do it, which sounds like a long time, but it's really not because it's a long assignment or sometimes I'll get it issued the first week of school and it's due next week. So I only have 1 week to work on a whole project. So it's a lot of work in a really short period of time. I wish I would have known that for sure.
So how do you keep yourself focused? How do you keep yourself on track with, do you use your phone, a calendar? What do you use? What's your trick?
Yeah, I use this app called My Study Life, and it's a free
Oh,
app. I just like found it, and it chronologically orders like all of my stuff that's due, like by subject, by class. Tells me what it is, like when it's due, and like the ones that are due will like be at the top. And as I'm working on it, there's like a little like slider from like 0 to 100%. So I could be like, I'm 50% done it right now, and that sort of a thing. So it really helps me like visualize, and I color coded it to like my actual calendar of like when my class is and that sort of a thing. So that's what helps me. And I love My Study Life. It's free. So go get it if you don't have it. But it's the best. Yeah.
that is such a good tip. I haven't heard of that before. You can actually use that in real life too, can't you? Like when you're,
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally. In my job as well, I do it too for
yeah,
interior design, like when projects are supposed to be due and like how much we're completing of it. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So now that you've someone graduated this program, the interior design program, going into next year, you'll have a job, you'll still have classes, you'll have practices. Are you looking forward to that challenge? Is it another challenge going in next year with all this other extra things?
Yeah, it is definitely going to be a challenge. Since my job is based out of Victoria, but I'll be working remote from Nanaimo, I will still have to commute probably once or twice a week to Victoria for the day and just kind of do it, come back early enough for practice. So yeah, I'll have a full-time job, 8 to 4, practice in the evenings. And then luckily all of my schooling, I chose online courses. So I don't have to physically go into class, but still like an online course is just as hard as an in-person one. So I'm going to be struggling for sure, but I think I'll be able to do it. Yeah.
You're going to need another color, I think, on your
Oh, I
apps.
know.
Well,
Definitely.
let's look at volleyball. You're going into next year. You were at nationals this past year. Obviously, didn't go as well as what you wanted to. Does that refuel the fire for the returning student athletes to go into next year, be better prepared, and just do better or try better?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, like VIU won 4 consecutive national championships, so there was always a target on our back. And now Lakeland has won two, so now they have the target on their back. So we're coming in strong. We're very excited. We got a few new players this year who I'm very, very excited for. And yeah, we just all want it so, so bad. We fell a little bit short, unfortunately, last year, but we're ready to come back and do it this year.
Because of your position on how many years you've been at VIU, you're going to be a leader. You're going to be thrust into that role of being the veteran player now. Do you like that? Are you going to relish in that where the younger student athletes will come to you and say, hey, Megan, how do you do this? Or how do you juggle with that?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm one of our captains for this year. So I was an assistant captain last year, but I'm one of our head captains this year. And I absolutely love it. Any way that I can help younger student athletes develop into the player that they want to be, I totally love it. Like, I'll always be giving tips or things. Sometimes they're not necessary, but I'll be like, try and do this, try it that way. So, any way that I can help my team and the players that they are improve, I love. Yeah.
Yeah. How is Greece?
Greece was beautiful. The best weather, the best food. I loved it. It was awesome.
Would you recommend a student athlete in the middle of school to be taking time off to go on a nice trip?
I don't think in the middle of school, there was that opportunity for me to do a semester abroad with my program and go to Italy. And I unfortunately had to turn it down because I'm a student athlete. So kind of there's sacrifices with being a student athlete, unfortunately, but it's okay. I got to go on my own time. So it's nice.
Is it ever too much? Have you ever sat back, especially in your third year? You said that was the most challenging year. Did you ever sit back and go, I don't know if I can carry on. There's just so many other things coming at me.
Yeah, totally. Believe it or not, actually in my first year and my COVID year, we kind of say it's like the November blues. So in November, when all your school is piling up, when it's dark and the island rains a lot, and so it's just gloomy and sad all the time. Volleyball's not going well, like something happened with your boyfriend or whoever, and you're just like, horrible. November is kind of the worst. So in my first year, I was like really like, oh my God, like I don't know if I can do this and blah blah blah. But I'm so glad I stuck it out. In the end, it is so worth it. We ended up, I guess we didn't win nationals that year, but we won the following year after that. So if I had quit then, I would never have a national championship under my belt. So I'm so glad that I stuck it out, and I met lifelong friends that I'll have forever. So I'm very, very glad.
So what do you do during the summer before school starts again and everything? All the colors start coming back on your app.
Well, I'm working. I have a full-time job as an interior designer here in Victoria. So I'll be in Victoria probably until about the end of August. And then we run our VIU camp, which all of the girls are coaches of. And so we do that, which is always really fun the last week of August. But I'll be working full time.
Amazing. Well, enjoy the summer. Thanks so much for doing this, and we'll see you back in a Mariners uniform soon.
Love it. Thank you so much, Ryan.
This has been PACWEST Best in Class with Ryan Waters.